Today I want to share with you a method of quilting called English paper piecing. This is a really fun method. It's been around for centuries and you can create some amazing things. What you do is you take different shapes cut out of paper templates, cover them with fabric, and then join them together to create other more interesting shapes. And there are so many things that you can create with these different patterns that's really quite amazing. But we're going to start with the basics today. I'm going to be using hexagons and I'll show you the supplies we're going to need. To do English paper piecing, you're going to want scrap fabric. I like to have a lot of different patterns. You're going to want a needle and thread. I prefer a very slender needle, so skinny with a small hole. If your needle is too big, it might create holes that are too large, which can be problematic. So long, skinny needle with a small eye. You're going to want thread. They do make thread that is specific for paper piecing, but if you don't have it, regular all-purpose thread will work. You're going to want a nice pair of sewing scissors and some paper templates to use to cover with your fabric. There are also a few other optional accessories that are nice to have. Here are some optional accessories that you might like to have in your English paper piecing kit. One is a hole punch. If you put a hole in the center of your paper template, it makes it a little easier to remove later, so that's one option. To hold your paper template in place, you can use a washable glue stick or clips, although neither is necessary. You can simply hold it with your hand. Marking chalk is also convenient if you like fussy cutting your fabric. Thread conditioner or wax is great to help make your thread slide smoother, and also a template punch. And we'll talk about templates in just a second. With English paper piecing, you need an array of templates that are made from a good cardstock in order to start your project. You can purchase these templates pre-cut, but it can be kind of expensive to do so, especially if you do a lot of this. So I prefer to make my own templates. One way to make your own templates is to purchase a punch. Punches are really nice. You simply slide your paper in, give it a squeeze, and you've got a nice new hexagon template or whatever punch that you've purchased. The nice thing about the punches is that it creates very consistent, even shapes. They're all exactly the same size and shape, which makes it really easy when you have to put together all of your pieces later to form a pattern. The downside is the quality of the punches is not always stellar, and they can be quite expensive. So unless you do a lot of English paper piecing, that may not be something that you have in your kit. Another option is to get a printed template. This is just printed on cardstock, and then you can cut this out with paper scissors to make a whole lot of hexagons yourself. The one thing you have to be careful of if you use a printed template is to take the time to cut it out very nicely. You do want each of your hexagons to be the same size and shape, so if you cut quick, you cut sloppy, it's going to make it really hard to join them together later. So take your time, go slow, make these as even as possible, but it does save you a bit of expense if you make your own templates. Let's get started. The first thing to do when beginning your English paper piecing project is to cut out your fabric. So you have your template that you're going to wrap your fabric around, and you need your fabric to be larger than that so that it can wrap over the edge. So you'll notice here I have a cutting guide. The cutting guide is about 3/8 of an inch larger than my actual hexagon, and that's to give it, again, the room to fold over. You can cut anywhere you like when you're cutting your fabric, just cut along the large edge here. Or if you're kind of nitpicky when you're making your project, you want it to be just so, you can use a window to help you fussy cut. So instead of cutting wherever and maybe ending up with the end of a stem here, you can fussy cut. You can take your cutting template, arrange it just the way you like to get exactly the look that you're going for on your project. You can mark around the edge with your chalk and then you have a good cutting guide to cut out your hexagon fabric. If you're cutting from a fabric that is not much of a pattern, such as this one, it really doesn't matter what direction it is. You can cut wherever you like. You can use a rotary cutter if you have one. Just take care because those can be a bit dangerous. Or you can just use scissors. So if you don't have marking chalk, you can just cut around. I'm going to use my chalk. When you are cutting your hexagons out of your fabric, you want to take care, you want it to be the appropriate size, but it's not as important to be as exact as you did when you were cutting the hexagons from the templates. All of the edges of this fabric are going to be folded over the edge, so it's okay if it's not perfect when you're cutting this. Now I have my fabric, I have my template, I have my needle and thread, and I'm ready to get started. The first thing you want is a good knot. I'm going to be using a single layer of thread, a single strand, because we want this knot to be too bulky. So to get a really good knot, I'm going to lick my finger, I'm going to wrap the thread around the edge, going to roll it so they get all twisty. I'm going to pinch it and I'm going to pull it, and I've got a good knot there to start. I'm going to turn my fabric over to the wrong side, and I have my template. Some people like to take their glue stick and put it on the back of the template. Then you put the glue side down onto the wrong side of the fabric. Make sure it's centered to help hold it in place. I found in my experience that the glue stick doesn't hold it fabulously, so I like the clips better, but if glue sticks work for you, go ahead and use those. Okay, to get started, let's go ahead and fold the fabric over. So we're going to take one edge of our fabric and fold it right along the edge of our template. Give it a good finger press. Fold the top edge over. Nice and crisp. You should have a nice pointy corner right there. And that's where we're going to begin to sew. We're going to sew with what's called a tack stitch. To sew with a tack stitch, grab your needle and thread. You're going to start on one side of the fold and come out the other. So I'm going to stick my needle into the fabric right here on the right hand side of the fold. I'm going to come up on the left hand side of the fold and pull it through. Now I'm not going through the paper here, I'm only going through the fabric. If you look through the front side, you'll notice you don't see your thread at all. I'm only going through the fabric, not the paper. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. Down on the right side, up on the left side, and pull. And I have my tack stitch. That stitch is holding this corner fabric in place. Now that I've got it started, I want to make sure that this is secure, so I'm going to use my clip and hold this in place. I like to wait until after I've done my first tack stitch to use my clip because it tends to get in the way when I'm doing that first starting point. Now I'm going to rotate. I'm going to make sure that my fabric here is all the way flat. I like to hold it with my fingernail right at the top of that cardboard template. Fold it down nice and crisp till I get a good strong corner again. Finger press. And let's give it another tack stitch. Here we go. Down on the right side, up on the left. And you'll notice that the tack stitches don't have to be perfect either. It's just holding your fabric in place. It's going to be on the back side of your project. No one's ever going to see it. So it's just there for structure, just to give it stability. Keep going. Hold it in place. Turn over the next side. Finger press. Tack stitch. Under once. Under twice. We're good to go. Keep going. Same process all the way around. Once you get to the last edge, you can remove that clip there. Keep going with your tack stitching. When you get to the last one, it's probably going to be going the opposite direction. So go ahead and tuck it under the other way. Make sure it's going the same direction as all of your other folds. All of mine are going clockwise. Do your last tack stitch. And to finish off, you don't need to tie a knot or anything. Just give it one more stitch. Come up from the inside and trim your thread. You don't want it to be too short because you don't want it to accidentally fall out. About there, I'll trim it off. And now I have a nice, even hexagon. And in our next video, I'll show you how to join these together to get your more complex shapes. Have fun making your hexagons. I'm eager to see you at our next video.